Hey guys, welcome. I'm Lauren from Inspired DIY Living, and today I wanted to provide you with a tutorial on a really cool gold leaf charger design. I'll start off with the supplies needed, not really a lot. First, I have my charger. This was an ugly gray charger I found on the clearance rack at Michael's. I got an 8-pack for $2 and I just painted it green. So I used some glossy acrylic paint, did about 3 coats. You might only need 2 coats depending on the paint and the color you choose. And I just let it dry for a full 24 hours. Then I have 3 brushes. One is teeny and it's going to be for the glue application. The second one is going to be to adhere the gold leafing to the glue. And then this third one is going to be used to kind of scrape off the extra gold leafing at the end. I also have these gold leafing sheets. I got a pack of 100 off Amazon for $10, $12. These sheets are super thin, so you don't want to work with them when you have fans on or anything like that. They'll go everywhere. Then I have our glue. It's called Size, and this is specifically made for gilding. I have heard of other people using Mod Podge mixed with a little bit of water. I haven't tried that. I love this stuff. It's specifically made for gilding. This is about $7 for this container, but a little bit goes a really long way because it's so thin. I don't even know if I'll ever go through this entire container. So first, I'm gonna get my little brush and open up this glue. And when you apply it, it's a milky whitish color. And what I'm gonna do is just get a little bit on my brush and do little arrow type markings, working from the edge to this inner circle. So I'm just gonna do a line, another line, and I'm not gonna have them completely meet in the middle. Honestly, to come up with this design, I looked at modern farmhouse wallpaper. Wallpaper is such a great inspiration for designs in your home. So this is the design that I'm doing. It's so simple. It's literally 8 lines. Anybody can do this. You might have a tendency to want to work quickly, but because this glue is on the runny side and the leafing is not very forgiving in terms of where it'll stick, you really want to be careful and take your time and make sure that these are looking nice, because everywhere that you have glue, this gold leafing is definitely gonna stick. And I'm trying to maintain even distance between all of my arrow sections, I'll call them. And I'm doing a charger here today, but you could literally gold leaf anything. But the only thing you need to remember is that you can't eat or drink off of it. So you can't do the inside of like a serving dish, or the inside of a glass, or even the rim of a glass. This is going to be sealed at the end with either Mod Podge or polyurethane water-based sealer, and those are not good for ingesting. Okay, so I might actually get the whole way around this before it's dry enough to apply. The package instructions say 20 minutes, but that has never been my experience. For me, it's usually closer to 10 minutes. So I'll show you how far I am with this design here. I'm doing just 4 little ticks on each side. Look how cute that is. This is such an amazing gift idea too, because it's completely customizable. You can make any color plate you want. You can do any design with the gold you want. And they also make silver and bronze leafing sheets. So it doesn't have to be gold if you're not a gold fan. All right, so now when you get close to the edge, you really got to think about spacing and how many more you're going to be able to do. So this is what it looks like. This is how white it is, kind of milky when it's still wet. It's not ready to apply the leafing right now. You have to wait until it turns clear and it'll be tacky to the touch. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes and then I'll be right back. All right, the majority of this is clear. There are some white spots where there's a thick layer of glue or, where I worked last, but we can get started on the first part and then wait for that to dry. So now these are the gold leaves, and I like to save this piece of paper for leftover little bits that I'll save or use for, little spots on the project. The little bits are just as good as these full sheets, so definitely hang on to them. I'm just going to be really gentle here. Pick up the first sheet and see how thin this is? It rips super easily. And then just lay it across the first section. Then I'll use this little brush and just lay it across the glue, pressing it gently to adhere. And I just want to make sure that I'm going over every little inch to make sure that I'm pressing it onto the glue. All right, and then I will peel off this excess. And then use the rest of this sheet on the second section. And it doesn't matter whether it's flat or wrinkly, it looks good both ways. And if you have a mixture of, really smooth and flat and really wrinkly, that's cool too. It's all gonna be shiny, so you won't really notice that much. There. Okay, gonna get another leaf and lay it on the next section. And you'll just continue this the entire way around. It's gonna be super messy, but it's worth it. And see, now that we have applied this other leafing, this section is basically ready. Okay, so now that you have your gold leafing basically everywhere you need it to be, you want to go around and see if there are any little areas of glue that don't have gold leafing on them that you missed, that you can fix. So like big areas like this, even if you can't see if there's any glue there, just try to stick some there. If it sticks, there's glue. If not, there's not. Okay, it looks pretty good. So I'll save this little bit. And I like to just give this a couple minutes to dry more and really get that gold leafing adhered to the plate. It's not absolutely necessary, but you've put this much work into it, you might as well make sure it turns out well. So I'll come back in 2 minutes and we'll start scraping. Okay, so this has had a couple minutes to dry and fully adhere. And so now I'll take this big, rough and rugged brush, and you don't have to be super gentle with this. Just start to lift away the extra pieces. You can put them in your salvage pile over there. And scrape away any of the pieces that are no longer needed. And I wouldn't say at this point you necessarily want to actually scrape it off with the bristles, but you definitely don't have to be gentle. You want to get all of the little pieces off that shouldn't be sticking. And I have this packing paper down because this definitely is the most messy part of the project. Totally worth it. Now I will say that some of you might be asking, why can't you just use gold metallic paint to paint this on? Seems like it'd be a lot easier. You can do that, but you won't get as metallic of a look. It's gonna be a little duller. It's not gonna be as light reflective. This is definitely shinier than any kind of paint. So just keep that in mind. So the next step after we get all of this off is going to be to seal it. And you want to make sure that you have all these little crumbs and pieces off before you seal it, or else you'll have it all running through your clear sealant and it'll just look messy. So here you have this adorable design around this charger that's going to peek out beautifully from any plate you put on top. And I'll get this cleaned up and we'll seal it. So I've gotten everything cleaned up and as many of these specks off of this plate as possible. I used a paper towel to kind of run over it and wipe off all of the extra little flakes, and it looks fantastic. You can see how reflective it is. It looks like gold. So the last thing we need to do is seal it. And I love this polyurethane sealer. It's water-based, really easy to clean up. It goes on milky so you can see where you've applied it, but it dries completely clear. I love it because it is a gloss and it gives it a very glossy finish. And it's really easy to use. So I have my paintbrush here. This is one of my favorite paint brushes. It's just a nylon brush, but the bristles are so soft. You can get this at Home Depot. I'm just gonna dip my brush into the polyurethane and scrape off the excess. And I'm gonna start in the middle and work my way out. The other option is to spray this with a sealant. Mod Podge makes a spray. Polyurethane comes in a spray, I believe. And that's a good option if you can go outside and it's not too humid or too windy. So now that I've done the center, I'm gonna kind of work my way up. And I'm just kind of rotating this plate so that I can work evenly around the piece, applying this. Any kind of drips or really thick areas you want to smooth out. You want to make sure you're getting the edge so that your paint is sealed down along the edge as well. All right. So now we're just gonna let it dry and see what the finished results look like. I'll show you what it looks like now with this kind of like milky glaze over it. And when it dries, it's gonna look so good. All right, so this is pretty dry. I would not say it's completely dry. I would refrain from putting anything on top of it for a good 24 to 48 hours because you don't want the chance of having indents or scuff marks on your beautiful glossy new charger plate. I am obsessed with the pattern. I love the look of the shiny metallic gold. The sealant really just pulls it all together and adds that cohesive shine all over the piece. It adds durable protection, and this is something that you might be able to use for years and years to come, and it's completely customizable. I'm obsessed. So if you haven't been there yet, make sure you pop on over to inspireddiyLiving.com. I have a bunch of tutorials for everything DIY you could want. I'm adding more and more every week, so make sure you stop by often. And I hope you have so much fun with this project. Feel free to shoot me a message or a comment with pictures of ones that you've done in the past or any questions, or if there is something that you would like to see with this gold leafing you want me to do a tutorial on, just shoot me a message and I'll see what I can do. So thanks for watching this tutorial with me. I hope you learned a lot and enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.